right. Welcome to our Rogue Yoga Sunday morning class. When you're ready to begin, go ahead and let's start in child's pose. So bringing those big toes together, sliding the hips towards the heels, letting your knees go out a little bit wide, sinking back. Extend those arms, if possible, towards the top of the mat as you gently bow down, resting your forehead on the mat. If your forehead does not rest on the mat, then go ahead and stack your palms, maybe making a fist, and then release that space between your eyebrows on the stacked palms or stacked fists so that your head has a place to anchor or rest itself. Begin by drawing a full breath in through your nose. And when you'll exhale, open mouth side, let that breath go. A couple more inhales here, breath in through the nose, reaching through the fingertips. Exhale, releasing that breath, dragging the shoulders away from the ears, maybe melting yourself closer towards the heels. And one more cleansing breath in. And that big release out. If your energy feels well this morning, go ahead and take your tongue, lick your lips, and seal them to one another. And as you seal them to one another, you'll begin breathing in and out of the nose. As you begin breathing in and out of the nostrils, I invite you to take your tongue, press it to the roof of your mouth lightly, and create a channel for your breath to flow. As you create this channel, there's a soft constriction so that you create this humming sound or the sound of fogging up a mirror. Your oceanic breath. With each inhale and each exhale, allow yourself to release and decompress. Maybe begin to massage the space between your eyebrows, side to side, either the head anchoring and turning from side to side on the mat, or even if your hands are stacked, then you can gently massage from right side to left side. Returning back to center, you'll extend those fingertips nice and long. Draw a breath in through your nose, and then exhale, let that breath go. Pressing your palms into the ground, inhale, lift your chest up a few inches, and you'll exhale, walk your hands towards that right side. As you extend your hands towards that right side, reach as long as you can through your left fingertips, and then turn your left rib cage towards the right side to where you can gently release that left temple down on the mat or even on your arm if that's more comfortable. Slide that right hand back and up, and maybe the back of the hand can rest on the small of your back or even grab your right heel. Whatever feels best for you, you can also keep it extended if you prefer, or even resting at your thigh or by your knee. Use long inhales to find that length through the fingertips and deep exhales as you sink back towards that bottom end of the room. Just a couple more, another breath in. And another breath out. If your right hand is to the heel or to the small of the back, now bring it down by your side so it's anchoring your body. Lift your left ear off the mat or off your bicep. Bend that left elbow, pat your back, letting the weight of the body drop down so that now you can stretch that tricep. And if your head does not anchor into the mat, that's perfectly fine. It can hover as long as it's comfortable for you. Another full breath in here. Letting that breath go. And then on your breath and time, extend that left arm, reach that right hand towards that top right corner, lift the chest up, walking your hands back towards center. You'll exhale, take it to that opposite side. Extend and reach as long as you can towards that top left corner with your right hand. Turn your head so that either your ear is resting on your bicep or down on the mat. Again, decide if you want to bring that arm back and up, bending the elbow, hand to the small of the back, or if you prefer to let your hand rest at your heel or even the palm by your side. Take a full breath in. Rotate the rib cage towards this left side. Release the breath, release the body closer towards the mat. Use another inhale here. Letting that breath go. If your hand is to your back, your hand is to the hip, go ahead and bring it back down towards the mat next to you so that you can anchor yourself. Lift your head off the arm or off the ground, bend that right elbow, take your hand, pat your back, reach to the tip of that right elbow, and then exhale, bow it down. And your head again can be hovering, or you can release it down to the mat. As you draw this breath in, feel that length from the rib cage through the elbow tip. And as you exhale, let the weight of the body sink and melt down for a little more release. One more inhale here. And that exhale here. On your time, extend that left arm, extend that right hand, press the palms into the mat. Inhale, walk back to center. Exhale, slide the weight of the body back into that child's pose. And then from that child's pose, you'll inhale, begin to lift and rise up, working your way onto all fours or that tabletop position. As the knees or the thighs come together, begin to wiggle your hips from one side of the room to the opposite side of the room. Working your weight back to center or a neutral position, curl those toes under. As you curl those toes under, slide the weight back so that you can stretch the bottom of your feet. Reach back with your right or left hand, anchoring your little pinky toes down into the mat. So spread them out just a tiny bit. Usually that little pinky toe wants to crawl up and it doesn't touch the ground. So see if you can bring it down to the mat. Draw a breath in, press out of your back, and as you exhale, roll your little toes out to the edges of the mat. Inhale, roll your big toes back in. Exhale, let your feet roll out to the edges. 2 more times, bring it back in, stretching the bottom of the feet, rolling those toes back out. Final one, inhale to center. Exhale out towards the ends, and then inhale, roll them back in, slide the weight of the body forward, allow yourself to lift the feet off the mat and trace a few circles in each direction. And maybe even take the tops of the feet and pat them onto the mat. When you're ready, allow yourself to come back to center. Lift your right wrist off the mat. As you lift that right wrist off the mat, just a few circles in each direction. Taking the back of your right hand so that your fingertips point towards your kneecap and your thumb to the left side. You'll exhale, work the weight of the body back. Inhale, you can slide forward, or you can take a few rounds of cat-cows here just to strengthen or release the wrist. Switch that direction out if you'd like, or just simply stay back, maybe even bringing the fingertips towards the thumb or rotating your thumb in each direction. One more inhale here, and then that exhale. Sliding forward, release that right wrist. Take that right palm, put it back down on the mat. Same thing with the left. Couple of circles. Back of the hand can come to the mat when you're ready. Either sliding the weight back and forward, just getting that fluid movement, or even side to side, or tracing circles in each direction, or a little round of cat-cows. Fingers towards the thumb or circles with your thumb. Whatever feels right for your wrist and your forearm. Finalize one more inhale and that exhale, and then slide forward. Release that left wrist. Couple of circles when you're ready. Palm back down to the mat. As the palm comes down to the mat, curl your toes under. You'll take cow pose as you knit those ribs. You'll release the chest down, lift the heart up now. Exhale, press your feet into the mat, dome your spine to cat it up. Inhale, cow pose, a soft bend of the elbows and the shoulders pull back. Exhale, dome your spine, press out of the body. And 2 more. Inhale, cow pose. Feel that length through the belly button, through the sternum. Exhale, feel that length as you press out of your back. And last one, inhale, cow pose. Those elbows bend softly and they point towards the back of the room. And then exhale, rounding that spine, catting it up. On your next breath in, neutralize the spine. And as you neutralize the spine, bring those thighs together, either tuck your toes under or not, your choice. Work the weight of the body so that you're sitting on your heels now. As you sit on resting on those heels, inhale, reach those arms up towards the sky. Exhale, pull the heads of the elbows down. Inhale, extend and reach up. Exhale, right hand towards that right side, left fingertips extend. If you need a little bit more, lift the body off the ground. You might even want to lift the hips up slightly higher. One more inhale here. And that exhale here. If your hips are up, bring them back down. Inhale, both arms reaching back up towards center. Exhale, the elbow heads pull down. Inhale, those arms reach up. Exhale, release that left hand towards that left side. Right fingertips extend and reach over. If you need a little bit more, lift the weight of the body off the ground. Maybe gaze up. Sit the hips back down. Inhale, we lift our arms back up. Exhale, pull the heads of the elbows down. Inhale, extend those arms up. Exhale, come back into tabletop. Round that spine as you cat it up. Inhale, take another cow pose. Exhale, cat it up. Inhale, one more cow pose. And then last exhale, catting it back up. Inhale, neutralize the spine. Work the weight back, sit on those heels. Inhale, circle sweep your arms up. Exhale, pull your elbow heads down. Inhale, let your arms reach up. Exhale, bring both right and the left fingers to your shoulders, drawing a breath in, letting that breath go. Inhale, and then exhale, twist open towards that right side, bringing that left hand on that right thigh. When it feels okay, release your right hand behind you. As your right hand releases behind you, stay right where you're at. Or if you need a little bit more, lean the body back so that you can place that right palm down completely. And then you can inhale, lift the hips up if that feels good for your shoulder and your hip flexors. If not, just stay on the heels. Exhale, release and lower the weight of the body down. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, pull the heads of the elbows down. Inhale, lift those arms up. Exhale, bring the fingertips towards the shoulders. Let the shoulders relax down. Inhale, prep breath in. Exhale, twist it towards that left side. Right hand to your left thigh. Exhale, left hand behind you. Draw that breath in. And if you need a block or something to elevate it, that's perfectly fine too. Let that breath go. If you took the lift, slide the weight of the body back, press that left palm into the ground. Inhale, lift the hips as well as your right arm, or your right arm can come behind your head. Use the weight of the body to press up, and then exhale, bring it back down. Inhale, circle sweep your arms up towards the sky. Exhale, bow your hands down. Work your weight as you exhale back into tabletop. From that tabletop position, inhale, take another round of cat-cow. Exhale, catting it up. Inhale, letting the belly come back down. Last one, rounding. And exhale. Inhale, cow pose. And then exhale, cat it up. On your breath and time, go ahead and wiggle those hips, neutralizing the spine. And as you wiggle those hips and neutralize the spine, let yourself tuck those toes under, send the weight of the body back, and lift the kneecaps off the ground today. As you lift the kneecaps off the mat, tilt your hips up like a V. So an inverted V. March or paddle your feet out for that downward facing dog position. As you come into that downward facing dog position, you can even shorten the stance if you need to, just a tiny bit. Continue marching your feet back and forth. And then when you're ready, you'll inhale, find stillness, and exhale, let your head hang super heavy. As your head drapes and hangs heavy, hollow out your armpits. As you hollow out those armpits, imagine you're putting deodorant on, the stick deodorant, so not the spray kind. And as you do that, you'll notice how you have to slightly turn those biceps in so that you can anchor your body for more strength and for release from your shoulders. On your next inhale, lift the heels up nice and high, bend those knees generously, looking forward, walk or step your feet in between your thumbs as you exhale for a forward fold. Inhale, we'll rise up halfway with a flat back and soft bent knees. Exhale, we'll melt it all the way back down. Separating your feet as wide as you need to, wider than hip width distance today. Bend them generously, grab those elbows for ragdoll. Rock yourself from one end of the mat to the opposite. The legs can stay bent, or you can gently begin to straighten those knees one at a time or at the same time. Let yourself dangle the head, whether it's rocking back and forth or side to side or a combination of both. Let all that weight, all the sensations, finding relief. Come back to center, hands come down to the mat, heel toe your feet back towards one another. Softly bend your knees, and then inhale, reverse and rise. Drag those arms to your thighs, out to the sides. When you're ready, up to the sky, the palms will kiss over your head. Exhale, your hands release to your heart space in prayer. Inhale, circle seat those arms up. Exhale, pull the heads of the elbows down. Inhale, extend and reach those arms up. Exhale, bend the knees, forward fold. Step back with your right foot. Drop the right knee down to the mat. Leave your right hand down on the ground. Align that left knee with the ankle, and then inhale, lift that left arm up towards the ceiling. Pull the shoulders away from one another. Breath in, and then exhale, release your fingertips down. Once you stabilize that body, inhale, start to rise up. Lift those arms up when you're ready. Exhale, pull your elbow heads down. Inhale, lift them up. Exhale, bring your hands to your quad. Once your hands release to the quad, softly begin to push the weight of the body forward, but let this right side stay in line with the left side. Don't allow your thigh to overextend to the left side or press to that center. Keep it right in the middle. One more inhale here, opening up through your hip flexor. Lift through the crown as you breathe in, but keep those shoulders down. Let that breath go. Inhale, both arms reach back up towards the sky, reaching tall. Exhale, release the hands to frame that left foot. As you frame your left foot, if you need a couple of blocks or something to lift you up, you're welcome to grab blocks, place your hands on them. But lifting up, straighten that left leg. And as you straighten that left leg, you might want to walk the heel forward or you might want to slide the heel back. Always your choice. Breathing in and out, pointing, flexing the toe, or dropping the blade over towards this left edge. Notice what's going on. We're here for about 3 to 5 inhales. So you might have 5, you might have less, you might have a little more. Whether you point those toes, flex those toes, or have the blade out to the side, that's up to you, or maybe a combination of all. If you can release the chest down, release the chest down. Keep the hips in line. Maybe one more inhale here. Knitting the ribs together, shoulders drifting away from the ears, bow it down. As you take your next breath in, rising up halfway, softening the foot, bringing the sole of your foot back down to the mat, hands walk back towards the top, curl your back toes, lift that back knee, plant the palms down, step back into that downward facing dog. So slide that left leg back, march or paddle your feet out, and then pause in downward facing dog. On an inhale, lift the heels, begin to roll your vertebrae forward until you work your way into a plank. Drop down to the knees when you're ready, or stay off the knees if you prefer. Hug your elbows in, begin to lower down towards the mat. As you lower down towards the mat, take your legs out wide. If your back is tender, if it's sciatic nerve, any of those issues, take it wide. Otherwise, keep those legs tight. Slide your hands beyond your mat, palms flat or cupcake fingers. Inhale, lift it up. Relax the glutes, feel the length from the sternum through the crown. Let that breath go, bend those elbows, drop your heart back down. Inhale, lift it back up. Take your right shoulder, drop it to the center of the mat. Turn your head so that you're looking to the left side. Inhale, return to center. Exhale, switch it out. Inhale, we'll come back to center. And exhale, we'll release the body back down towards the ground. Bring your thighs back towards one another. Let your hands slide by your breastbone. If your elbows are pointing out, tuck them in. And then from here, inhale, plank to honor off your knees, to then off the knees. Then exhale, downward facing dog. In that downward facing dog, draw a breath in. Let that breath go. On the next inhale, lift the heels up high, bend those knees generously, walk or step your feet in between your thumbs as you exhale for a forward fold. Inhale, you'll lift up halfway, a flat back. Exhale, you'll release the body back down. Once more, take your feet as wide as you need to. This time we're going to take gorilla pose. So you'll lift the sole of one foot, you'll slide that same hand, so right foot, right hand, underneath the foot. And let your toes touch the crease of your wrist. So if you need to bend the knee, bend that knee generously. Then do the same thing with that left side. You can either keep those knees bent or straighten those legs as you tilt the hips up. Pull the elbows out to the sides of the room if you prefer. You can even wiggle your toes or send some of the weight directly onto the palm, maybe one at a time versus at the same time so that you don't lose your balance. But as you wiggle your toes on your hand, you're getting a little pressure point relief, so that might feel really good for you. Only when you're ready, you'll take another breath in and you'll let that breath go. Taking your time, bend those knees generously, lift your feet, slide your hands out. A few circles with your wrist in each direction, and then fingertips can come back down to the mat. Walk the feet back towards one another and then knit those ribs as you inhale, rise up, doming your spine until you're nice and tall. Then circle sweep those arms up. Exhale, pull your elbow heads down. Inhale, extend and lift the arms up. Exhale, forward fold, lowering the palms down to the mat. Leave your right foot at the top. Take that left foot, step it back. Adjust the knee, adjust your stance. Drop that back knee down, top of that left foot on the ground. Left fingertips on or off the ground. Inhale, extend and lift that right arm up. Pull the shoulder head away. Feel yourself lunge into the body. One more breath in. And then exhale, releasing that right hand down to the mat. As you release the right hand down to the mat, looking forward, you'll begin to lift and rise up. Then sweep those arms up towards the ceiling. Wrinkle the mat together. So pull that right knee forward, right knee back, left knee forward. Exhale, pull the heads of the elbows down. Inhale, lift it up high. Exhale, right and left hand come to that quad. Once it's at the quad, feel that left hip pull forward and that right one shift back so that you can lunge the body towards the front. If your knee is slightly over the ankle in this particular position, it's fine as long as your knee is down on the mat. So if your left knee is not down on the mat, then make sure you keep this right knee in line with the ankle. Protect those joints, the ligaments, the small tendons. One last inhale here and exhale. Then sliding back, reach those arms up. Exhale, hands frame your front foot. Grab that block if you need it. And then looking forward, start to straighten your right leg. Adjust it as you see fit. Point, flex those toes. Leave your fingertips down on the ground or anchor them on something. When you're ready, exhale, bow it down. Notice what happens as you wiggle the toes or point them and flex them. It may make no difference in your particular position or this particular side. We're all slightly different, so options for what your body needs. Last 2 inhales here. Releasing that last exhale, fingertips back down to the ground or your blocks, rise up halfway. Begin to bend the sole of your right foot, begin to bend that right knee, sole of your right foot down. Curl the back toes, lift that left knee. Take your time as you step that right foot back and exhale for that downward facing dog. From that downward facing dog, inhale, roll forward into your plank. Down to the knees if you'd like. Exhale, brush the body as you lower the chest down. Inhale, lift it up for a little cobra or even baby cobra if your back is still tender. Let that breath go here. When you're ready, exhale, bend those elbows, brush the ribs again as you lower the body down. Bending your knees, letting the heels come up towards the sky. Let your arms rest to the sides. Take your left ear down on the mat. Windshield wiper those legs right side to left side. And then extending those legs nice and long, bringing those thighs together. You may want to slide to the right side of your mat and then extend that left arm out towards that left side because your left ear is down on the mat. Right hand becomes a support or an anchor next to your breastbone, and then we'll roll over and stack on that left hip. This may be more than enough for you, especially if your spine has limited mobility today, or even the shoulder or the pec on this left side. But if you need a little bit more, you're welcome to lift that right leg up, bend the right knee, step that right foot behind your left leg. Your left leg can also slide towards that right side if you need it to. This may be more than enough for you. Some people need a little bit more. And if that's you, you can extend and lift that right arm up, bending the elbow, bringing your hand somewhere to the hip, the small of the back, or even reaching for that left arm. If you find that that's too much, just reverse it. Particular individuals like even a little bit more, so you can bend that left knee, sole of the left foot down on the mat. If you find that you're compromising your breath, just return back to the position where you're not. Take a deep breath in, reach to the crown of the head. Let that breath go. And then if you have your arm bound on the inhale, lift it up. On the exhale, bring it back down. Stack that right leg on top of the left. Take your time as you exhale and roll back onto your abdomen. As you come back down to your belly, your arms come to the sides, knees will bend, and you'll windshield wiper right side to left side. If you need to work the weight of your body now to the left, take it to the left. Extend that right arm out to the right side. Drop your right ear down on the mat. Left hand is by that breastbone. Roll over and stack on your right hip. As you roll over and stack on that right hip, make all those soft adjustments, all those little necessary movements so that you can come into your favorite position here, so that you can feel that link for your body. There's no rush. Feel the shoulder blades come together. Feel the length through your pecs, shoulder, maybe even release through the erectors as the scapulas come closer and closer towards one another. Just make sure your breath is fluid, that you're not constricting it based on where you're at. You've got one last breath here. Letting that breath go. Begin to unwind. So bringing that left arm up, down to the mat, stacking those legs. Exhale, rolling onto the belly. Deciding if you want to bring those arms in front of you, resting your forehead on the stacked palms. Bend those knees, sway them side to side. On your breath and your time, you'll extend those legs long, bring the palms down to your breastbone, lift up onto your knees. Wiggle those hips from one side of the room to the opposite side of the room. And then you're going to take a couple of figure 8 rolls. So on an inhale, take your chest towards that top right corner, around to the left, send that right hip to the right side, sweep it to that left side. Continue tracing like you're a pencil in this number 8 towards that top right corner, then to the left. If you need to slow it down, slow it down. If you need to go a little faster, then take it a little faster. Switch it out when you're ready. So then inhale, bring your heart towards that top left corner, around to the right. Exhale your hips to that back left corner, then around to the right. You might notice subtle differences based on if you have any sciatic issues, if your glute or your hamstrings are really tight on one particular side. But just observe all those things. Just make note of it, knowing that you're finding relief and release here. Finalize that last twirl around. And as you come back to center, curl those toes under. Inhale, take a cow pose. Exhale, dome your spine, cat it up, press out of the body. 2 more. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale as you cat it up. And last one, inhale, cow pose. Exhale as you cat up. As you take your next breath in, neutralize the body, and then come back into that child's pose. So take those knees wide, toes together, slip the hips back, bow your chest down. You're here to observe for 3 inhales and 3 exhales. If you need a little length for the shoulders or those triceps, bend the elbows, palms together, then thumbs can come towards your back. If you don't want to do that, that's fine. Just leave those arms extended forward, or even press just the fingertips into the mat and lift your elbows off the ground, pulling the shoulder hits back. Last belly breath in here, and that breath out. As you take your next breath in, those palms come down to the mat. You'll lift your head up, work your way back into tabletop, and then send the weight of the body to one side so that we can swing our legs to the front. As our legs come to the front, we'll gently roll onto our back and pull those knees in towards our chest. As we pull the knees in towards our chest, decide if you'd rather place the feet on the mat and windshield wiper side to side, or if you prefer, let your hands rest on the kneecaps or the shin bones and then trace circles in each direction. When you're ready, returning to center, you'll lower the sole of that left foot down, extend your right leg up. If you happen to have a strap, a towel, or even if you can grab onto your pant legs, that's completely fine. You can even wrap your hand around the hamstring. And it's not about how far can you bring this right leg towards your head. It's where do you feel the length in the hamstring? And then are you lifting that glute up? If the answer is yes, drop the tailbone down without forcing the natural arch of your back down, and then find where it feels best. So it might be like a 45-degree angle. It might be a 90-degree angle. It could be less than. If you prefer to extend that left leg forward, take that left leg, extend it towards the top of the mat. Point and flex the toes. Twirl the ankles if you prefer. If you happen to have a strap and that's the route you want to take, you can definitely grab your strap. Whatever feels right for you. Reaching through the heels. A breath in and a breath out. Just take another 2 inhales where you're at. And then if you happen to have the strap, let it go. Or if your hands are interlaced, release. Bending this right knee in towards your chest. Interlace your hands around the shin bone. Draw the knee towards that right side of the room or towards the armpit. And then grabbing the blade or even your ankle with your left hand, turn that right knee out. Turn that right thigh out. With your right hand, you're welcome to hold on to anchor the ankle on the outside edge or even that left hand. So now you should feel that link through the back edge of your thigh, that external rotation. You might not be able to bring it as close to your abdomen. You might be able to bring it really close to the belly, and that's fine. It's up to you. Neither is incorrect. It's wherever you find your own particular edge. But if you would, just flex the toes. You can even relax the toes and just imagine that your foot is stepping on the ground. Two more inhales here. When you're ready to release, you'll release it, bending that left knee, crossing this right leg on that left thigh. Flap the leg a few times. Notice if you have a little more mobility through the hip. And then find that restful state. From there, thread your needle for figure 4 or that pigeon pose on the ground. If you prefer to wrap your hand around the hamstring, or if your preference is interlacing the fingers and wrapping it around the shin bone, that's up to you. Just try to keep that tailbone heavy. So if you're lifting that tailbone up, try to keep it down. However, if it feels really good to lift it up because you get a little more length, then that's perfectly fine. You also have the option, if you have a couch or a wall that's near you, to anchor your left foot on it and cross that right thigh. And that might give you a little more relief. Some people like that position. Some people also like to grab the sole of that right foot with that right hand and gently twist towards that right side. But that's just if your foot is anchored on the wall. It usually doesn't feel good if your back is on the mat. Three more inhales here. Hopefully you're releasing that right glute. You're ready to let go. Just release that left foot down. Take that right leg back up towards the ceiling, twirl the ankle, keep it at about a 45-degree angle, and then exhale, bend the knee, lowering the sole of the foot down, extend both the right and that left leg long, take a big good morning stretch, and on that exhale, bend the knees, extend and lift your left leg up towards the ceiling. Hands interlace. You can also grab that strap once more, your choice. Variety of places to go. Right leg can reach towards the top of the mat if that feels better. If you do have a strap or a towel around your foot, try to put majority of it or pressure on the ball of the foot minus your little toe versus your arch. You definitely don't want to cause any discomfort or injury to our arch. Last 3 inhales here. If you desire a little longer, know that you can stay there a little longer, but if you're ready to release, remove the strap or interlace those hands, bending the knee in towards the body, hands wrap around that shin bone, drawing the knee towards the outside edge of your left rib cage, couple of ankle twirls if you need it, and then taking that variation where you grab either the ankle or the blade of your left foot with your right hand, and then allow this left knee to open up like a door. Both hands can wrap underneath like your little bulldozer. If your head happens to be off the mat, support it with either a pillow, blanket, or some other item you might have handy. Try to keep that external rotation. Last 3 inhales here. And exhales here. Once you're ready to release, slowly begin to let go as you bend that right knee, cross this left leg onto that right thigh. Flap the leg a few times, just making sure that the glute is relaxed now. And then thread that needle for figure 4. Tailbone down if possible. Left toes flexed. If you went to the wall or you used the edge of your table or chair, then allow yourself to go there. You're observing the difference from the right side and the left side. But as you observe, you're not making judgment on whether it's better or worse or the same. It's just what it is. Just another 3 inhales where you're at. And that last breath in, letting it go, releasing the interlacing of the hands, extending and floating your left leg up, bring it to about a 45-degree angle. Actually greater than. And then a couple ankle swirls and lower the heel down, extend the right and the left leg to the top of the mat, arms reach over your head, long body stretch. And now we'll exhale, pull both knees in towards the chest. And as we pull both knees in towards our chest, we'll take happy baby as we grab the blades of our feet, sending the kneecaps out to the left and to the right side. If it's not accessible for you to grab the blades of your feet, not to worry. You can wrap your hands around the inner thighs, and then you can interlace your hands so that you have somewhere to grip or draw those knees in closer towards the armpits. You can dangle the feet. You can even bring the toes together if you prefer, whatever feels right for you, for your hips, your glutes, and your low back. You're welcome to wiggle side to side, finding all of those little sensations of wellness. Last inhale and exhale here in happy baby. And then extend those legs up towards the ceiling. As the legs come up towards the ceiling, just let them be at a 90-degree angle. Toes can be soft. You can flex them if you prefer. Base of the tailbone is anchoring down as you're feeling the weight of the body. Try to release to the top of the mat. If you need to hold on to the pant legs or the back of the legs, then that's fine too. Last breath in. And on the exhale, bend the knees in towards your chest, lowering the soles of the feet down. Take your feet out to the edges of the mat and sweep your legs from side to side. Coming back to center, heel toe your feet back towards one another. Setting up for bridge, your palms rest to your sides. And as your palms rest to the sides or to the hips, anchor through the soles of your feet to stretch our hip flexors and our quads. We'll inhale, lift the hips up. Take your hands, maybe anchor the hip points up. You can stay right here or release your palms back down. Squeeze the glutes nice and tight. Reach through your hip points. Try to keep your chin away from your chest. One breath in. And then on that exhale, lower the weight back down to the mat. Separate the feet if you need to. Swing the legs side to side. Setting up for a second bridge. This time for strength in our knees, we'll lift the heels of the feet once we're in that bridge position. So on an inhale, lift the hips up. If this feels good for you here, now lift your heels off the mat, anchoring through the balls of the feet. If your hands want to touch the heels, that's fine. If they want to interlace, that's fine. Imagine those kneecaps reaching forward and up, and the thighs reaching up. You're going to feel it as you squeeze those glutes. One more breath in, and then sliding the hands out, lowering the hips down. Now allow the feet to come down. Sway it side to side. Last bridge, your option on how you want to take it. So if it's with the soles anchored to the mat, that's perfect. If you prefer to lift the heels up, once you rise up, lift your heels up. So on that inhale, lift your hips up. Adjust the body. Let the heels come off the mat or not. Interlace your hands. And if you interlace your hands, interlace them the opposite grip. Take a full breath in. Lift through the abdomen, through the back. Let that breath go. Stay up. One more inhale up and then releasing. We'll slide back down. Lowering the body down to the mat, adjusting your back, adjusting your hips, windshield wiper your legs, right side to left side. Coming back to center, you'll take your time as you tuck the knees in towards the heart, maybe lifting your head to give yourself a nice giant squeeze. Squeeze every fiber of your being and then release your back and your head down to the mat. Keep those knees at a 90-degree angle, arms cactus or T. If you prefer to drop the toes down, then lift the hips, that's great. We'll twist open towards that right side. So let the knees rest to that right side. Bring that left arm over if you'd like, and then trace the halo over your head until you can anchor your left shoulder down, either looking to the right for less sensation, directly up for a little more, or even all the way over towards that left side of the room for greater release. One more inhale here. And that exhale. We look back up towards the ceiling, returning our back and our knees into a neutral position. We'll switch it out whenever you're ready. So knees in or hips lift and shift. Take a breath in and then exhale. Lower the knees to the left side. Stack on the left if you need to. Right arm extends to the left and then you can trace it open. As you trace open, find your variation. One more breath here. Letting that breath go. Coming back to center. So you return back onto the mat. Gently take those knees in towards the body. Give yourself a hug. And then extend those legs towards the top of the mat. As those legs come towards the top of the mat, we'll be here for a few inhales and exhales, just decompressing the body, finding that final resting place known as Shavasana or the position of corpse pose. Relax the jaw, all the features of your face and every muscle as if you're sleeping. Taking a big cleansing breath in through your nose. You'll exhale, sigh, and release it out. Blinking those eyes open, wiggling your fingers, wiggling those toes, circles with the wrists and ankles. You'll draw the knees in towards your body, or at least let the feet come down to the mat. Rotate so that you can roll over towards that right side, resting your head on your right bicep. And then take your time as you lift and rise up. Once you're up and seated, find that comfortable position for you. Draw a breath in, hands anywhere you'd like, and exhale. Let that breath go, folding forward. Only when you're ready, inhale, rise up nice and tall, bringing your hands into prayer and at your heart space. Thank you for joining me this morning. It's been an honor and a pleasure. May you have a beautiful day. From my heart to yours, namaste. All right. How are you guys today? Thanks, Tina. If you got to go, no big deal. Enjoy the day. And Nicole, welcome. I don't know that I've met you. My name is Melanie, and it's a pleasure to have you here.